They say that he over here wiggling and shit, man. Like they say like he over here wiggling and shit, bro. All right. So they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting something different, right? What insanity feels like is believing over and over and over that people are going to see what I've been saying for 4 years. Like they're going to see, oh, that's Daniel Jones. We should probably go somewhere else. And them saying, nah, you know what it is? The moon is too close to the earth. So once the moon moves far away from the earth, Daniel Jones is going to be all right. It's not it. Okay, Mercury's in retrograde or upper grade or 12th grade. It's not it. Daniel Jones still looks like he is left-handed and throws with his right hand. So I guess the pain comes in where you look at life and some of the closest people in your life wear stars. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's, and I get it. Like, I understand it's America's team. Like, I don't know what America this is, but it's not an America I want to be a part of. But I'm a part of it. Here I am. Um, I say that to say this. Um, I'm tired of them, man. Like it gets, like a quick 2-0 looks like it looks wonderful when it's 2-0, and then Dallas beats you 9 out of your last 10. You say, all right, Micah got scurvy, so he's not going to play well. You got you got Coopy Rush out here. Okay, cool. His name is Cooper Rush. Like it sounds like a surfer dude from like a bad movie, and he's throwing dimes out here. And the dude who y'all, not me, nicknamed Dimes, is just throwing legit pennies, maybe a nickel or two out there. I just haven't seen a dime. And the one time he throws a dime, Kenny got. I just need Kenny Dodd. Here's what I understand: he's in the NFL. My hands work really well. Like I fight really well. I need Kenny Galladay to find me wherever he is, and just put his hands up and shoot the fair one with me. We don't have to record it. Nothing. Just let me show you how well my hands work, Kenny. Because yours don't. We seen it. I'm not worried about your hands. They don't work. Mine, my hands work, Kenny.
Hmm.
Like you got theme music in the back. You got like I don't like any of this. I don't like any of what's going on. Like I don't like any of this what's going on. Like you called me giggling and say, "Hey, we on tonight? Yeah, we on tonight, bro." Like I'm glad that you missed the first link. Like I wish you would just be like, "Oh no, link. I'm gonna go ahead and live my life." Nah, where my son at, man? We going live? Yeah, man. We here, bro. We live. We live, man. Go ahead, man. I'm here for the Quiet Storm. You know who I am. Like you already see my name down here. But I'm just the Quiet Storm, like you know what I mean. OG, triple OG out here. Go ahead and live your best life, man. I'm gonna be over here looking at my cat, just understanding what life is like as a giant. Like I thought 3-0 could have been a thing, man. Like it was never a shot. Like it's never gonna happen with Daniel Jones. Never, bro. We can have 85 Bears defense, Randy Moss and T.O. on the outside, and if Danny Dimes, as y'all call him, is behind center, it's all gonna fall apart, man. It's just all gonna fall apart. The Bears are gonna hobble in here and look like you remember the first scene in Necessary Roughness before they started getting the thing. You remember that team they was out there.
Hmm.
That's how the Bears are gonna look. I just feel it. I just feel like the Bears are gonna come in here. We're gonna get, it's just not gonna be all right, man.
Good evening, everyone. Now, I am the Quiet Storm. I am the
He
other
is,
half of
man.
this father-son duo of
He
Ace
is,
and the
man.
Quiet Storm.
He
My
is.
son, my love, my seed. I hate that word, but I say it every now and then.
Might as well,
But
man.
but my pride and joy,
I'm here.
along with my two daughters,
Hmm.
is right there.
Yeah, here I
So
am.
I'm gonna say this. I'm glad everyone is here.
Hmm.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate
Th-
y'all.
Um, I'm gonna lead up to this moment. My son blessed me with a wonderful birthday. I'm pretty sure we talked about that a little bit last week, where it was culminated by going to City Field and watching the Mets
We were there,
jump
man.
out to a 3-0 lead.
We
Jake
did,
had
man.
one of those innings that everything went wrong all of a sudden.
He had
3-3
13.
game,
He had 13
but
strikeouts in the
13
fifth,
Ks, and he was killing them,
and then just gave it all up.
and gave it all up to one guy who just seems to sit on the fastball, right? Um, he almost took Jake deep
The
in the
first at bat,
first inning,
he
first
did.
at bat.
O'Neal Cruz or whatever his name
O'Neal
was.
Cruz.
Okay,
But the Mets came back, won that
he
game. It
did.
was exciting. So my birthday was complete,
Magical.
right? And I am so grateful for that. And then all of a sudden, Dallas come along and lose on my lose Sunday night on my birthday. Yeah, okay. But I want y'all to know something. My son was at City Field
He was.
losing his ever loving mind
He was, yo.
when the Giants came back and won that game. He let everybody know in that section of City
He
Field he was
did.
a
They hurt
Giants
me.
fan.
They
They
hurt me.
heard him. And I respect him for that because he is 100%, if nothing else, he's 100% loyal.
He is.
And that's what I love about him and true sports fans
Hmm.
that don't get on a bandwagon when their team wins, but is not there to critique them and criticize them, but still love them when they lose.
Hmm.
Nobody
Hmm.
knows that better than me. I haven't won a damn thing since 95. It's a damn shame that as a Cowboy fan, I got to look to the regular season to get some joy. But it is what it is. It's my life as a Cowboys fan
It
currently,
is.
and I just have to hope and pray that we get some success. So um, the Giants, we're going to be at it again Thanksgiving Day because the Giants got to go to Dallas. And Dallas remembers how last year they got themselves whooped by the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day. They're going to remember that. And here comes the Giants. And I'm pretty sure the Giants will have worked out a few things
Worked out what, bro?
leading up to the game. But
What did he
we're
do?
gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be family, fun, football. There'll be a lot going on.
I'll be eating and playing Scrabble in the room, bro. Like I ain't watching this.
So what we gonna do is we gonna enjoy the holiday because more
We
important
are.
than a football game
We are.
is the holiday. So as
It's gonna be
everybody
beautiful.
who knows me knows, Quiet Storm counts down
He does.
starting his birthday.
He does.
So October 1st, it's
It's
all
all about
about
Thanksgiving.
Halloween. So I start watching little movies. I don't watch horror flicks, but I watch little corny shit like Hocus Pocus. I watch Halloween Town. I watch Twitches when my youngest daughter was little. She wanted to watch that every year around Halloween. So I kept that tradition going.
Watch a whole
So
Giants game. That's a horror movie.
right.
Like you can watch a whole Giants game. That's horror. We can do that.
So is but we gonna have fun with it. But then Christmas comes. So everybody knows as the weather changes, so does my outlook on life and the world and even in sports changes. But one thing holds true. The Alabama Crimson Tide
Roll damn
are
tide, man.
everybody's team. You are going there's two types of fans when it comes to Alabama.
Now we can set up.
There's no care. And here's the thing about greatness. Nick Saban has won 6 championships in the last
Hmm.
13 years.
He has.
Nick Saban has become the gold standard in today's college football landscape. It's not going to last. We know that. As Alabama fans, we understand that everything has ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. We get that. We're not stupid. We're not oblivious to that. Those of us who remember Gene Stallings and Bear Bryant. We also remember Mike Dubose,
You do.
right? We remember the lean years. Mike Shula had a couple of nice years, but he never really was ever a title contender as a coach at Alabama. Saban comes along. You either love Nick or you hate him, but you got to respect him.
You gotta respect them. You
You
have to.
got to put some respect on Nick Saban's name. And here's what's beautiful about this. For years, everyone said, well, Alabama has a soft out of conference schedule. Well, they need to because they play in the toughest conference in the country,
And the toughest part of the toughest conference.
right? And their division is likely the toughest division outside
Correct.
of Georgia in the East Division. And every now and then Florida will rise up lately, but
Yeah.
it's pretty much Georgia right now,
It's
right?
pretty much Georgia.
So outside of that division, their toughest competition has come from within their division. Most of their losses in SEC play has always been within their division. They don't
Right.
lose outside their division that much.
Mm-mm.
It's either Georgia. I remember one year South Carolina beat them when Spurrier was there. They were coming off a championship year that year. They lost to South Carolina. I remember Florida beating them, I think, once at an SEC title game. They haven't beat Alabama since, right?
Okay.
So every now and then you'll get outside of Georgia a team to rise up and meet the challenge. But for the
Right.
most part, the SEC West with Auburn, rivalry game, you know how that can go. You have Tennessee. They beat Tennessee. I don't think Nick Saban's lost to Tennessee. Then you have Arkansas, who suddenly has become pretty darn good lately, right?
We
You
gonna
got
beat the shot.
LSU.
You know what?
LSU
Let me
traditionally
relax.
good team, right?
There.
Right. So when Bama loses, the that part of the world and every place else who's not in the deep south rejoices. See, when Clemson beat Bama twice in national championship games, right?
They did.
Clemson stepped up to the plate. Everybody said Clemson's now the gold standard.
Mm,
How long did that last?
it didn't. It didn't last.
Alabama has won 2 championships since they lost that lost to
I'm,
Clemson.
I'm just trying to
So
understand.
so under explain to me, America, how Alabama is still not the gold standard. I remember now Paul Feinbaum and others, the class of college football is in Athens, Georgia.
That's what
They
I've
won
heard.
one national championship in the
That's
past
what.
40 some odd years.
That's
Now,
what
if
I've
they can
heard.
sustain this,
They do look good.
right? Because
They
they
do
looking
look
damn
good.
good. They
They
looking
they do
Alabama-ish these
they do look
days, right?
good.
So if they can sustain that, then more power to them.
Hmm.
I'm not jealous of another
Yeah.
program's success,
Do it
but
for
you got to
15 years.
respect
Do it for
Alabama's
15 years.
success.
Do it for 15
Do
years,
it for 15 years.
and then we can
Win,
talk.
yeah, win back to back,
That's all I'm saying. Do it
right?
for
Go
15 years, then we
undefeated.
can talk.
Go undefeated like Alabama did in 2020. And I believe
Have
they
a
won
four
another. They've had 2 championship years where they went undefeated those years.
have a 4 year class that walks away with a championship. Saban has never had a 4 year class without one.
That
It's never
without a
happened,
championship never has happened.
and it's not going to happen.
No,
It's
they're
just
gonna win
not.
again. It's not. So
It's just not.
so I wanted to start off with Bama because you know what? I read somewhere where the usual anti-Alabama supposedly experts on college football,
Hmm. Hmm.
Joel Klein, and he just needs to stop. Uh,
Joe Klein don't want us to be
Feinbaum,
great.
these
Feinbaum.
guys. I'm concerned about Alabama. You was concerned about them a couple of years ago. You were always concerned. I remember Joel Klein saying that Nick Saban was done. Alabama was done. Clemson is the class of college
It
football.
sounds good, bro.
Alabama won a national championship that year,
I'm just
right? So college football
when
is
people.
broken down. And let me finish this one little point. If you look at college football from its inception to now,
Hmm.
especially in the AP era, there's only certain schools that have won national championships. The majority of the schools that have won national championships are not going to be the Oregons of the world or the Oregon states. right? They're going to be the Alabamas. They're going to be the LSU's.
Right.
They're going to be the Clemsons now, right? They're going to be they're going to be the Ohio States,
Right.
the USC's. Certain programs have always dominated college football,
They have.
right? Miami during its heyday. Florida State was relevant. They should
Florida
have
State
won
was
more,
big
but they
time.
couldn't, right?
You
But
know.
only certain programs will get to the promised land. You're not going to, all of this talk about playoffs, all you're doing is setting teams up for failure.
You're just setting them up to get demolished, and you're gonna end up with a Final Four that looks the same way it's gonna look now. Like, come on, like you're gonna bring y'all gonna make Wake Forest win, get to the 12, and all of a sudden Wake Forest got to play like Bama or Georgia, bro. Like, what are we, what are we doing? Why are we here, bro? Like, why are we here? But it's fine. The Alabama thing is always hilarious because I'm worried about Alabama. Worry about Alabama means they may not win every single game this year.
Mm,
I'm fine with that. That's cool. If that's how you see us, if you're worried about us losing one, maybe two games, I'll be fine. I think I'll be okay because you don't say I'm worried about Penn State when Penn State goes 8-4. You think Penn State's got a good team over there, 8-4. They're playing well. Alabama goes 8-4. The world's gonna end. But we don't go 8-4. That's just not how it works. But that's fine. Saban understands that. And coming into the year, we needed to have these wide receivers step up. We needed to know who was going to be the guy that Bryce was going to rely on. It looks like early Jameer Gibbs is that guy coming out the backfield. He's playing really well. I think we'll be fine. Holden is going to step up. We're going to have these guys. It really comes down to once we get into this division, once we get into SEC play, and this schedule coming up, these next three are monsters. When this schedule comes up, this is where we see where we are. This is how we'll see how we stack up. We don't. There are no look ahead games. Arkansas is legit. We have to beat Arkansas. Texas A&M is legit. We have to beat Texas A&M. Tennessee is legit. We have to
hmm
go and beat them. We're going to be strengthened by what happens over these next 3 weeks, starting with Arkansas.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me. I ain't worried about no damn Arkansas, man. I'm not. I ain't worried about no damn. I'm not worried about Arkansas. Arkansas is going to be good. It's going to be rowdy. It's going to be, oh, we can't wait to rush the field. Alabama hasn't played well yet. They haven't played well once this season. That's not going to be the case. That's just not. That's not going to be the case. So my outlook on Alabama is simple. Let's get in the SEC. Let's see where you guys really stack up against Alabama when
hmm
we're locked in, where we're ready to play, when we understand, all right, this is the part of our season we've been waiting for. Let's deal with a fully intense, fully locked in Alabama, and let's see what happens.
hmm
That's
Well,
where that's where I'm at with them.
you know, Arkansas is a nice story for Arkansas. They ain't losing to no goddamn Arkansas,
We ain't losing to no.
right?
We ain't
They're
losing
gonna
to
they're
no
gonna
damn.
put them. They're athletic enough, especially at the quarterback position, where
They are.
they can do some things, right? They're not gonna be
We're
Alabama,
not losing to no damn
right?
Arkansas. We're not here to
Te-
get cute with you. We're not
Texas
losing to no damn
A&M
Arkansas.
is a revenge game. Good luck, Texas A&M. Good luck,
Listen
because if you think that loss you took
to Appalachian
to
State, bro.
Appalachian State was damaging to your psyche,
Guess where you're
be
playing this game?
prepared to what's going to happen to you in Tuscaloosa this year.
You're coming to Tuscaloosa, bro.
All right.
You talked all the like. Here's the thing: if that game was in College Station and they talked this crazy, I'd understand. You'd
Mhm.
have some support, but you talked crazy and you got to walk into Bryant Denny.
Yeah.
All right, man.
And
Okay,
what's
bro.
interesting about last year's game was that Jimbo Fisher laid it out there that he was going to kick Alabama's ass.
That's what I
Right.
heard.
Right. He said that, and Texas A&M won. They won the
They
game.
did.
Right. Alabama still made it to the national championship.
Sure enough.
and you still went 8-4, Jimbo.
Come on, bro. 8-4, four
Right?
losses.
So you was on top of the world, still 8-4. 8-4. Bill Parcells once said your record says you are what you are. You're
Hmm.
8-4,
You're a good team.
right? You're above average team. You're a good team. You're not a
Hmm.
great team, right? Then Alabama goes to Tennessee.
Hmm.
One of the great things about Tennessee is they had a former coach that once said, "If you want to know what type of man you are, play Alabama. You play Alabama." That's the respect level that Tennessee had for Alabama.
We're gonna bust
There was
Tennessee
once
ass
a
too.
time when Tennessee beat Alabama every year,
Peyton Manning's not walking through that
right?
door.
Peyton ain't coming through that door, man.
T. Martin ain't coming through that door, my guy.
No, he's not. So you
Didn't
gonna
didn't Alvin Kamara play there? He went to Tennessee, right?
he left Alabama and transferred to Tennessee. That's
Alvin
how
Kamara's not
deep the
walking through that door.
Alabama running back room was. Well, Alvin Kamara knew he wasn't going to get on the field at Alabama.
He's not walking through that door.
He's not walking through that door either.
We're gonna bust y'all ass too.
So when it comes down to it, fundamentals and scheme, fundamentals and basics will win most times over emotion. Texas had all the emotion in the world working for them. They lost. I don't care if they lost by 1 or 100.
They lost.
It's a loss.
You
Only in
lose.
college football do you need to beat a team by 50 points to be relevant. Alabama doesn't care about that.
That's why everybody says
Win
Georgia's
and
far and
move on.
away.
And that's what Saban
Georgia looks
believes in.
wonderful.
Win and move on.
That's it.
Win and move on.
That's it.
That- that-
Trust the pedigree.
So I don't know. And also, please understand this. Alabama is on its way to having the highest rated recruiting class ever for 2023.
Mm, 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 mm,
So
mm.
a 70-year-old coach is whooping y'all ass on the recruiting trail.
While whooping y'all ass on the field.
While whooping you on the field. 70 years old. He'll be, I believe, Saban, he was born on Thanksgiving Day. So I think Nick will be 71 his
He'll be
birthday,
71.
right? So here's Nick Saban whooping your ass, not just on the field, but I'm going to recruit the best class ever.
Ever.
And Alabama doesn't have the money for NIL deals the way Texas does, Texas A&M does, USC does,
He sure is, though.
right?
Bijan is that guy.
Right? So you have everything laid out for you for these other programs, but you know what Alabama has? They have Nick Saban.
They have Nick
The
Saban, bro.
one constant they have had over the past 15 years is Nicholas Saban. And that's enough for these kids. These kids know. Listen, Will Anderson once put out a tweet. Somebody, was some Texas kid was thinking about going to Georgia or going to
Right.
Oklahoma or something. He said, why not, why not Bama? Kid said, well, why not his school? Well, Anderson said, because we like winning. So the pure the pure arrogance to say something like that. Like, why? We like winning.
We like winning, bro.
And if you are, I was, think about it like this, America. You don't have to like Alabama. And again, there's going to come a time when another program is going to be that program,
It will.
right? Because it happens that way. The USC teams, the Miami teams,
Yes.
all these
Nebraska
others.
90s teams.
Yeah.
The
So you're
early
going to have
Miami
teams.
teams.
That's
Like
right.
it
You're going to
happens.
have other programs that's going to step up, especially
Oklahoma.
with NIL, because Lincoln Riley is going to be out there doing his thing with
He's gonna
USC,
do his thing out there.
right? And all that talent in California, Arizona, Hawaii, he's going to pull out. I mean, he's going to pull some talent. Them big boys on the line.
Hmm.
Listen, Lincoln Riley is going to be a
He's gonna
problem,
do a very good job.
right? You still have Alabama here and now. And this is the crazy thing about Alabama, and I've said it before, and I still mean it. Nick Saban is still chasing one thing:
Bear Bryant.
the next championship. because the next championship puts him at 7 at Alabama, not 6, where he's tied with the Bear. He has 7 total. He's ahead of the Bear in that regard. But when you're a legend at Alabama, don't you want to be the legend at
You want to be
Alabama?
the guy at Alabama.
Right? So if you're looking at Alabama, what is Saban really coaching for? He doesn't have to coach for his legacy
He's
anymore.
coaching against himself, man.
He's coaching against himself. He wants so if he retires after winning number 7, which I've been saying for years, if he gets to 7 at Alabama, he's going to retire.
I agree.
And I don't think because at that point, and these players understand that now. Now, Ace, listen,
They want
these
to be the one to
kids
get it to him.
understand that
They want to be
they
the one to
want
give
to
it to
be
him.
the guy to be on that team that for the next 50 years they're gonna talk about that team that gave Nick Saban number 7 at Alabama.
That's it.
They're gonna want to tell their grandkids, their kids, their great grand. I was on that team.
I was on
Yeah,
that
go right
team,
there.
man.
That's what Alabama has become. When you have the alumni coming back to the university, yo, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? That's not Bama. See, when you have a Devontae Smith walk in the wide receiver room,
Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver.
Heisman Trophy winner, his trophy sitting out there in the hall. His
Come on
trophy's right
now.
out there,
What are we talking about?
right?
Going
Derrick
crazy on
Henry,
Sundays.
Derrick Henry walks into the running back room. Mark Ingram walks into that running back room.
What are we doing?
Heisman Trophy winners. Alabama had not one Heisman Trophy winner until Nick Saban. He has 3.
Come on, bro. What are
He
we doing?
has 3.
What are we doing? But please be nervous about us. Talk to us in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Talk to us in 3 weeks.
That's what everybody is trying to beat. But you can't listen.
Listen, talk to us in 3 weeks.
In 3
Talk to us
weeks,
in
we're
3
gonna
weeks.
revisit this, and whether Alabama has won or lost. In 3 weeks, we're gonna come back to this after
Mm-hmm.
the Tennessee game, and we're gonna have a whole lot of conversation.
Talk
And
to
if
us in
you're
3
not a
weeks.
fan of Alabama, I understand,
You're not gonna like it,
right? We're not gonna
but you're
like
gonna
it the fact that we lost to somebody not named Alabama, so we're not gonna like that,
right.
right?
But
Shannon
it's not
Sharp once
happening.
said, "Alabama's backups: Alabama number 1, Clemson number 2, Alabama backups number 3." That's how deep Alabama was rolling
I know.
at one time.
I know. It was wild.
Now, because of certain things, NILs and the transfer portal has hurt teams like Alabama, but it's also helped them because Jamison Williams came there and helped them.
He did.
But look at Bijan Robinson, what he's doing at Texas. Imagine him running at Alabama,
Right.
right?
He
But
couldn't.
Chase
He couldn't go on the
McClellan
field.
gonna be okay.
Oh, Chase gonna
Jameer
be fine.
Gibbs gonna be okay,
We're gonna figure this out.
right?
Bijan lost, so thanks Bijan, but
Bijan
you lost.
lost,
But you lost.
right?
Switch gears over to 6 games left in the Met season.
No, I think it's 3 games left.
Don't we have the Braves and then the Nationals?
Oh, I think it's Braves and Nationals. Yes. So
1 game up, and I don't know how this Brave series might is the most meaningful baseball the Mets have played since they made the playoffs a few years back. This Brave series is going to determine everything for us because Braves finished with the Phillies.
hmm
They'll win 2 out of 3, if not sweep them.
if not,
We finished with the Nationals. We should win two out of
we'll
three,
win
if
two
not
out of
sweep
3
them.
if we don't sweep. But the
This,
yeah.
here we are. Here we are. Now, here's what we can both like. We've lost to the Giants forever, but we can both, as Mets fans, look at these damn Braves
Mm.
and realize that they've just been cleaning us up for years and years, man. It's been a while since we've played against this team when they were good and put some things away. I don't want to play in this wild card nonsense, man. I don't want to deal with none of this. I want to NL East winning
hmm
Mets. Go play at home. Guarantee
Have
that
that
home
rest the first
field.
round because you don't
Have
have
that
to play
rest
the
the
two out
first
of three
round.
game. That's right. You have to win. You don't have to win three out of
This is a
five.
huge
Mhm.
series. How are we feeling about this?
I have been a sports fan of Dallas, Alabama, the Celtics, and most of all the Mets. The Mets were founded in 1962, the year I was born.
Right.
So we're both 60 years of age. The Mets have only two championships to their credit, right? 1969 and 1986. They should have won in 88, 87, and 88 with that team, but they didn't. You know, issues, they couldn't get out of their own way. This is how I feel about Atlanta. Atlanta has always found a way, even when they weren't great, to harass the Mets.
They have.
Now, I get it during the Smoltz, Avery, Glavin.
I get it.
I did. They had a fourth pitcher. He was so good, I forgot his name.
I get it.
I can't even think of the guy's name. But those Braves teams, Chipper Jones, Julio Franco was over there,
Then they
40
have
years
Otis
old,
Nixon out
40
there.
years old, hitting, pinch hit home runs and
hmm
shit, right?
Then they have Otis Nixon out there running around
Yeah, they had
bugging us.
Andrew Jones.
Andrew
They had,
Jones.
yeah, that team, those Braves teams, as great as they were, though, they only won one championship,
They did.
right? But they owned the National League East.
They did.
They owned it. This Mets team was not supposed to be this good this fast.
They weren't.
Steve Cohen, when he took over the team last year, promised Mets fans, hey, we will win a championship in 5 years. So most of us as Met fans said, you know what? I'll take it.
I'll take it, bro.
If you could give
2025,
me
2026, let's
25,
get busy.
yo, give me that. But all of a sudden, with a
That's
with
right.
a with an off season that started off bad, because remember they had some issues with
Yes.
well it started, yeah, they started off a little rough with their hiring choice of Carlos Beltran. Then they went
Right.
to Rojas. Then
Right.
now it's
Big buck,
Buck,
baby.
right? Then they had issues with their GM with the DUI
Yep.
and other
Yep.
issues, and you know they had to get rid of him. And here comes Billy Epler, right? He wasn't anybody that was going to knock anybody's socks off, right? But all of a sudden he gets to the Mets and says, listen, we need Starling Marte. Got some speed, got some pop in his bat.
Got some
He's a
pop in
little
his
older.
bat.
He's mature. He can handle some of these younger guys, right? I'm going to let Baez go. We're not even going to care if he leaves
Right.
because we believe in Guillorme and we
We
believe
do.
in Jeff McNeil. And listen,
We
I'm going to go
believe in
get
it.
another guy who got some pop in his bat. I'm going to go get Eduardo Escobar. I'd never paid attention to who Eduardo Escobar was, right?
Shout out to them 5 RBI last
So
night.
so
Eduardo, we needed
woo.
them,
So all
baby.
of a
We
sudden,
needed all
and then here
five.
comes exactly. And then Mark Canna. I didn't know who Mark Canna was.
Nope.
But here comes Mark Canna coming on over to the Mets. I'm like, oh, damn.
Good hitter.
Along with Chris
Good
Bassett.
defense.
Oh, I don't know about Chris Bassett. But I started looking him up. Okay, not bad. Then all of a sudden, here comes Mr. Scherzer.
Here comes Max Scherzer.
So I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. Is this owner for real? Like he's signing off on all of this?
Oh yeah,
Like,
he's ready.
right? So I still though remember that. Okay, well, what are you gonna do with a bat behind Pete? Because Pete's the only true power bat in the lineup.
He is.
Full power. I'm talking about like absolute power.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, all right, maybe we'll win the wild card. Because when you look at other teams in the division, I knew
Yeah,
they would be
stacked
better
up.
than. Even though Philadelphia spent a lot of money upgrading their team, it
They
hasn't
did.
panned out for them
Right.
the way it's panned out for the Mets. Then Miami, wasn't worried about Miami rebuilding. They're in flux. I worried about them. So, wow, these Mets are really could maybe sneak in a wild card, get 85, 88 wins. That might be enough. If they get to 90, they could get in. They had 97 wins, man. And no true Met fans saw this coming. We didn't expect Brandon Nimmo to be the
Mm-mm.
Brandon Nimmo he is right now. We
Mm-mm.
didn't expect. Now, We expected great things from Lindor, but 103 RBIs,
Bringing in Marte to have
right?
somebody to look up to,
Marte. Now, and
somebody
a
to
lot of
relax.
the issues the Mets have having in beating some of these teams is not having Starling Marte in the lineup. That's how
Yes,
good he's been
yes,
because he was on the tear before that. The Mets have kind of struggled a little bit, right? And then even their acquisitions, like Tyler Nyquin, he
right.
hasn't been
He hasn't
great,
been great.
but he's been serviceable. Vogelbach, he
My
hasn't been
man, Big
great,
Bogey.
but Big Vogie out there
I like
doing the
my man,
best he
Big Bogey,
can,
man.
right? So now all of a sudden here the Mets are with they staying toe to toe. Now they did have an 11-game lead, but it's hard to maintain those type of leads unless you're in a division where everybody else
Right.
is bad.
And the
You're
Braves,
talking about
and
the
the Braves are
defending
legit.
champions. That's right. You're talking about the defending World Series champions.
No,
They're
they were
not
never
gonna
going to lay down.
they
They
were
were
not
never
gonna
going to
lay
lay
down.
down
They were gonna figure some things out and win some games, and here they are, one game back of the Mets.
with the Mets coming
Right?
to
With
town
the Mets coming to town.
Friday night.
Here's the thing I would like to say. If the Mets win 2 out of 3, they win the division. It's
Yep.
over. If the Mets sweep, it's over. And
The
fans
Mets
don't
sweep
say
is
the Mets can't
mathematically
sweep
over.
Atlanta because they've already proven, just like Atlanta's already proven, that it
Hmm.
can happen.
Hmm.
So, but
Go handle
here's the
business.
handle your business as New York Mets.
Friday, listen,
Handle your
Friday night
business.
set the tone. Friday night,
You
we
have
land in
Bassett,
Atlanta.
DeGrom,
Jacob DeGrom is on the
Scherzer.
mound tomorrow night.
Oh, Jacob DeGrom, Bassett, Scherzer.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's what
Listen,
it is. But
the Mets
DeGrom
are set
tomorrow
up
night.
with their 3 top dogs, and guess what? Or three. Well, Bassett and Cookie Carrasco. Cookie Carrasco laid an egg last night, the night before. But the Braves also set up pitching wise with their best. So it's going to be best against best. And we're going to see what happens. I think the Mets are going to play with a lot more inspiration because the pressure is not on the Mets. Even though they have a 1-game lead, the pressure is not on them. Both teams are going to go to the playoffs, right? The Mets are playing for pride at this point because they're tired of hearing how they're going to blow this to Atlanta. I think Pete Alonso is getting hot at the right time. I think um, Lindor is going to have a great series. And you've already shown that a guy like Escobar and Nimmo can take over a game for you.
Right.
So I think that, and also here's the amazing thing about Atlanta, about the Mets in Atlanta. When the Mets are at their best, Atlanta's a free swinging team. They don't take many walks. They have 3 very good strikeout pitchers coming in there, and they're gonna make. It's gonna be interesting to see how Atlanta approaches Scherzer and approaches Jake. Jake may have learned some things about his fastball, maybe tipping his pitches, maybe not hitting his spots. We're gonna see. But I put my money on Jake to win tomorrow night. I think Bassett, who had one of his best games in Atlanta,
Hmm.
um, to do what he does, and I think Scherzer is gonna just be different on
I agree.
on Sunday. So I feel
I agree.
good about the Mets. Now listen, if the Mets lose 2 out of 3, I'm
Go
not
get
worried.
two. I'm
That's
not. I'm
okay.
not worried.
I'm not stressed over that. I don't. We
We're in the
can't get
playoffs.
swept. However,
You
you
can.
cannot get swept.
Right. Right. We're in the playoffs, but this is a series everybody's been waiting for, and the Mets are going to
Yes,
be ready.
I think they
DeGrom is
will be.
pissed. DeGrom is annoyed.
Yeah, he's annoyed, and when
He's
you
going to
hear him
go out.
talk, you can hear that. I can hear you wondering if something's wrong with me. There's nothing wrong. He
Hmm.
just missed a couple of spots, right?
Hmm. I'll see you Friday night.
I'll see you Friday.
I'll see you Friday night. So
I'll see you Friday.
it's a big week. It's a big week ahead. It's a
Yeah.
big week ahead. Next week we're gonna have a lot to talk about. With
Ooh, it's gonna be
obviously
interesting.
we, we got Friday
We
night.
might
We
be
got
talking about
Saturday.
division winners. I already got some
Yes,
gear I need to get.
we got
I
some
already
big.
have
We got
some.
some big things to talk
Yeah, we
about.
have some. We have some serious
We got some
things
big
to
things to talk about.
discuss. Yeah.
But that's it, man. We just want to touch base, lock in here with you. Um, we've got some fun things coming up for you too. We got sports, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it on air. We have there's this ultimate R&B song bracket out there, and we're gonna have to go through this one by one, man.
What's that?
We're gonna have to go through this one by one. It's a compilation of the best R&B songs of all time,
All right.
1960s until now,
You know what we're gonna
and they
do?
put them side by side, and you just
Okay.
got to choose one, and that one moves forward. The one you don't choose is gone forever to
Wow.
get to
Oh, I
number
can't wait for
one.
that show. I
For
can't
number
wait for
one,
that one.
and we just gonna have to figure this out, man. We gonna have to figure
Ooh,
this
that's
out.
gonna be a good one.
We
You
gonna
know,
have to figure
we
this out.
told all of you that we're going to
Luther better be up there.
give you a little bit of
Luther better be
everything
up
on
there.
this show. Sports is going to be a huge part of what we discuss. But we're gonna talk some R&B. We're gonna talk some hip hop. We're gonna
That
talk
one's gonna be
some
there.
because if Mecca and the Soul Brother is not on somebody's top 10, then I don't want to. Then your top 10 is not
Listen,
even is void of any of any
listen.
relevance. I
Everyone
mean,
knows how great "They Reminisce Over You" is, but "Take You There"
take
might be
you
one of the best
there.
songs to. I'll take
Even
"Take You There"
yeah,
is one of the best songs I've made, man.
straighten it out.
Straighten it.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Some of the best
Listen,
songs
that
ever
was
made,
what to
man.
me. That was one of the best albums ever by a duo.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna leave. Isley Brothers. It's gonna take. It's gonna take some real monster to get "For the Love of You" off this list. That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
It's
for the
gonna take a
love of
monster.
you, and listen, there's
That's all I'm saying before we go. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying before we go. Wait till we attack this list. I'm not gonna say nothing else. This is gonna be a fun one. But we got some great things coming up for y'all, man. We appreciate you. You ain't had to
holiday
lean
season,
up.
everybody. We're gonna
Holiday,
come at you
yeah.
with some recipes. We're gonna come at you with some
You ain't
food
had to
tips.
lean forward with the damn Dallas hat on, no, man. You ain't had to do all that. All right, man. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us, man. I ain't playing no outro music. Well, the sound of my sadness is outro music for y'all. Tired of this Daniel Jones thing. You over here wiggling. I hate his